Good evening, this is vk3sl. Welcome to the evening program. This will be a shorty, I'm afraid. We won't hang around too long tonight. A little bit of a lurgy has taken over my system, so we'll let that run its course, and then hopefully we'll be back with our usual energy on the weekend and thereafter. So, we'll play a couple of records, and I've got 2 meters open there, Frank, if you're around, but we'll just probably go for about 30 minutes at the max. A 1920s record to start with. We have a recording of the original Memphis 5. That was a group run by Phil Napoleon, and it's sort of that proto-jazz, early syncopated music. This recording was made in 1922. It's a great song. It's called Bee's Knees, and it refers to a prohibition era cocktail made with gin, honey, and lemon. Sounds very good for a sore throat. Well, it is extraordinary to think that that record was made back in 1922. Phil Napoleon and the original Memphis 5 on an Imperial 78. An original record on the turntable. And his influence is quite profound when you think that he was recording as early as, I think, about 1917, 1918, not long after the ODJB. He set up the original Memphis 5 and was recording prolifically right until 1980. In fact, he died in 1990, didn't Phil Napoleon? We should feature him on Emissions, I think. Well, folks, I haven't got much of a voice, so I'm going to hand it over to a music reviewer who I listen to. I'll just play a couple of excerpts. When I'm a little bit off colour, I like to listen to these reviews by the director of Classics Today. And this chap, David Hurwitz, is probably the most celebrated music critic in the world. And I used to sort of find his critics very challenging and didn't take much notice of them. But in recent times, he's put up a blog on YouTube and has, since COVID's been around, he's put up over 1,000 videos. He's totally encyclopedic. His knowledge is unbelievable. And he shares insights, and I think actually I've really warmed to them. I find them really quite, they draw me into another world, and they certainly help educate me. And he does invite the listener to draw their own conclusions, which I do like. And it's just a really fantastic gateway, I think, to classical music. And he certainly shuns the elitist overtones very much, which is something else I celebrate about Mr. Hurwitz. So look, I'll pass it over to him. I was just in bed before, and I was listening to this remarkable review of a work by the Romanian composer George Enescu, composer who I have enormous regard for. It's a concert overture, a work that I know quite well, and it was really interesting to hear him review the work or describe it. He does it really quite masterfully. So for the next 5 or 6 minutes, do listen to this. It's quite something. The annotation of David Hurwitz from Classics Today. I'm vk3sl testing.
Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the next in our series of interesting overtures. And boy, is this one interesting. It is the concert overture, opus, I don't know, it's opus something here, opus 32 by Enescu. Yeah, a totally cool piece of music, 9 and a bit minutes long. It has a much longer title than concert overture. Technically, it is called the Ouverture de concert sur des thèmes dans le caractère populaire roumain. Yes, that is concert overture on themes in the popular Romanian character, or folk music, for short. Now, late Enescu, and this is very late Enescu, this is like 1948. He died in 1955. He became increasingly, what's the word? Spacey as he got older, I think. But he was always a composer of incredible musical density. That is, thickets of notes. He liked lots of notes. He really, really, really liked notes. And as his music became increasingly complex and the notes multiplied, it started drifting away from the idea of a simple romantic nationalist composer, which is sort of where he began, although a late romantic nationalist composer, it was always very sophisticated in its orchestration and its layout on the page. But this particular overture is really an extraordinary composition. It begins in a folksy kind of way, but the folk music elements that he employs become scarier and scarier as the music goes on. They become somewhat distorted and hallucinatory until at the end, it's kind of like a nightmare. And the ending is quite equivocal, even though it's sort of like a big, glorious major chord. It's really an astonishing piece of music. His approach to folk music in his later work was similar, I suppose, to that of Bartók's, in which whether he calls it the popular Romanian character or not, and it starts that way, he eventually just subsumes all of this stuff into his own personal style. And we're no longer dealing with any attempt at the evocation of folk music in a normative way. It's all very, very stylized and extremely affecting, I think, but also difficult. It's challenging music. It truly is, because nothing ever repeats literally. I mean, things come back, and you can tell that they're coming back, but they sound very, very different, and the level of dissonance and spookiness sort of increases with time as the overture goes on. It's really an incredible piece. I can play you two bits of it. I'm going to play you the opening, and then we'll listen to the conclusion. So you'll see how it goes from here to here, and how it gets there to the ending, I leave you to find out on your own if you're curious. Now, this absolutely splendid performance is part of Ondine's cycle of Enescu symphonies, which everybody should own. It features the Tampere Philharmonic Orchestra under Hannu Lintu, Mr. Bird, as we say in English. And it's a tremendous performance by this orchestra, which is really a very, very fine ensemble. So, let us listen to the opening of the concert overture on themes in the popular Romanian character, or whatever the heck it's called, and then we'll skip ahead. So here's the opening, basically the opening. The first two themes are in this particular excerpt. There are three, actually, all told, but here are the first couple. So you can clearly hear the folk origins, at least of that opening tune, and the stylized evocation, perhaps, of plucked folk instruments of various types, and it sounds Eastern European, Romanian, without a doubt. It definitely sounds Romanian. But by the time we get to the end, oh my, how things have changed. Here is the ending. scary, isn't it? I mean, it's just a fascinating evolution. And I really recommend very strongly that you take some time, because you've got to take a little time. It's only 9 minutes, but it helps to listen to it a couple times in a row just to see where it's going and get a feel for it and give it a chance to sink in. It's an extremely powerful piece of music. And the funny thing about it, of course, is that nobody is going to suspect what they're getting when he gives it a title like, oh, it's a concert overture on popular Romanian themes. And it's like everyone goes, okay, sure. I mean, they think they're going to be getting, something like the overture to the Bartered Bride or something like that. But no. It's quite different, as you can hear for yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this. Once again, it's the Tampere Philharmonic Orchestra with Hannu Lintu on Undine, and it's part of their 3-disc Enescu Symphony cycle. And it's just quite an interesting overture, isn't it? It works in this particular category. So keep on listening, folks. Thanks for joining me. Take care.
Okay, there you have it. That was David Hurwitz from ClassicsToday.com and his review of the Enescu Overture to Concert. It's a late work of Enescu. His music is so dark and mysterious, and I've always loved that piece, and I was quite fascinated to see it pop up on the list there. There's literally well over 1,000 reviews put up by Mr. Hurwitz. He's often putting 2 or 3 up a day, and they're very comprehensive, and his knowledge is just second to anyone, really. But he does a lot to make music more accessible, and he certainly challenged my thinking in lots of ways. I think I can honestly say I've become a lot more open-minded, having listened to some of his ideas and following. I don't always agree, but it's been an interesting journey, especially during lockdown. So that was something, and there's another one. I can play one more of his, then I'll wrap up, I think. Here is one of his little chats on world's most beautiful melodies. In this case, it's the music of Haydn, and I think this certainly deserves a listen. I'm vk3sl, testing.
Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the world's most beautiful melodies, bar none. Now, normally when we talk about the world's most beautiful melodies, we mean these sort of lush, romantic, yummy, gorgeous, sort of, conventionally gorgeous. These lyrical, swimmy, voluptuous. I mean, you know the deal. Well, this isn't one of those, because there are also world's most beautiful melodies which are peppy and exciting and just so characterful in their joyful rhythmic impetus and perfection of suitability for the context in which they're used that they have to qualify. And my choice for this particular video comes from good old Haydn. You know Haydn. I mean, we've been listening to tons and tons and tons of Haydn, and we're going to listen to tons and tons more, because he was unbelievably great, and he is still not acknowledged as such. And I still keep trying to find ways to sort of slip him into these talks in a way that'll really attract a lot of viewers. I mean, if I do one of these talks and say Mahler, then all of a sudden, flonk, the viewership goes crazy. But if I say Haydn, it's like... And it's such a shame, because Haydn wrote such great tunes, and all different kinds of them. And so this is one of those. And what it is the last movement, and we're going to hear the whole thing, of his trumpet concerto. Now, Haydn's trumpet concerto was composed around 1796. It was written for an early version of a chromatic trumpet. In this case, it had keys, sort of like an oboe or something like that, and apparently sounded...
Okay, looks like we've had a internet failure here. What a pity. I was just getting into that. Don't know if I can do much about this at this point. We'll see if we can find another avenue. Oh, hi there, Mr. Stu. Yeah.
It's so enthusiastic.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Yes, send me a link to that. That'd be good.
It's a massive archive. It'll make very good missions fodder, actually.
I was thinking that, see, all these stations, they have no announcements, which makes them dead.
Yeah.
You need no one else has got program source that I've got access to.
Yes.
And who cares? Mr. Horowitz never going to hear it, so I won't complain.
That's right.
And,
It's good source material.
And you sound absolutely terrible. You should be in bed with a hot
Yes, well, I
toddy.
have been, but I got up for this. Let's give this another try. No, look, we should be back tomorrow. Hopefully this will just pass over.
You've got a very good bass voice. You should be in a late night jazz program.
I should now. I should take up pipe smoking, shouldn't I?
You should.
Yes, cigars and pipes, and just waste myself, and then this might be my new lower octave range.
I know. You know when you've got a cold and you've got that low voice.
Yes.
You thought, gee, this is a fantastic voice. You know, you're talking and everything.
Yes, well, that's right. Yes, that's it. It's something. I don't know why that's gone off the internet. We'll try the other source and see if we can finish this talk. And we'll have it. It's a beautiful work, actually. This I think most listeners will know it. But here we go. Oh, here we go. That's the other one. We'll see if I can just initiate this. Sorry about this, folks. Stuff happens here. Everyone's using the system, unless I've kicked it. I don't know. There we go. Maybe world's most beautiful melodies. Looking for it now. Here we go. Number 26. There's so much. All right. We might have to partially overlap here, but we'll try again.
First piano concerto that's also with a solo trumpet. And you get contemporary trumpet concertos by Zimmerman, Berio, Lim, Chelsea, and Kilmeyer. They're not really concertos. Chelsea's piece is just for solo trumpet. Some of these are just solo works. Then you get trumpet and organ, and La Belle Époque, trumpet and piano in France. Yeah, and then trumpet and percussion. Really rather cool stuff. A wonderful, wonderful set. And this performance of the Haydn is accompanied by Martin Hasselbach with the Wiener Academy, or whatever the heck they're called, on period instruments. And they sound great. Oh, they just sound great. So let's listen to the most beautiful melody, the most perfect melody ever written for the trumpet by our dear friend Haydn. Mind-blowingly fabulous, isn't it? I knew you'd agree with me. So keep on listening, my friends. We'll be doing many more World's Most Beautiful Melodies. Take care.
And that was David Hurwitz from Classics
He
Today.
is so enthusiastic.
Oh, look, he's amazing. He's
It's infectious, isn't it?
oh, look, it is.
Hello, friends. This is Dave
There's
Hurwitz,
another
executive
one.
editor at Classics
I'll just
Today.
let that fade. That's on constant play. Yes, I can tell I'll be listening to a lot of those over the next week if I'm stuck at home.
He's even more manic than you are.
Yes, he is. Yeah,
Is it okay if we do radio tonight rather than Zoom?
Yeah, look, I sent you a link. I'm going to wind it at this point, Frank. I was just going to do a short one tonight. I'm not really in the...
Sounds like you should be in bed.
Yeah,
Steve.
look, I got up to do this. I just thought I'd put out a call, and in case anyone was listening in, and I put those reviews on as a bit of a stopgap.
Yeah.
So, look, I think I'll retire, and
good idea.
and all being well, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm sure this is just a passing thing.
Feeling a bit ordinary myself, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, well, you take it easy.
Son's been unwell, David, and he came over tonight, so I'm hoping,
Okay, well, I hope he's all right.
Oh, he'll be all right.
All right, then. It's good to catch up, gentlemen. We'll see you tomorrow, all being well. And,
tomorrow's
and
fine.
we'll find more of Mr. Hurwitz on future playlists. They're really outstanding. And
Yeah, I love his I love he's so keen.
he's very keen, and he's extraordinarily knowledgeable. He basically knows every recording. It's beyond astonishing how encyclopedic he is. But he invites people to appreciate music without all of the elitist crap.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's the way it should be, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and it's not academic, and it's just music for music's sake. And
Either you enjoy it or you don't, and you don't have to go through the massive explanations or
That's right.
3 years of schooling.
Indeed, that's right. That's very much the way he presents, and I have to say it's been an inspiration. All right, then, we'll catch you soon. This is vk3sl, and thank you, Frank, and thank you, Dave. We'll catch you.
Good day, Dave, as well.
Yeah, all right.
G'day, see you later.
All right, then. Okay, vk3sl saying cheers for now, and we look forward to your company, hopefully, tomorrow.
3JR clear.
Yeah, bye for now.